Have you ever wondered why terrorism is often associated with particular religious or ethnic groups? Why is it that an entire community is often held accountable for the actions of a few? It's a complex issue steeped in misperceptions, bias, and history. Let's journey back in time to the early instances of terrorism. The term itself originated during the French Revolution's reign of terror, a period marked by violence and fear. Terrorism was then a state-driven occurrence, with no links to religion or ethnicity. The blame, as it were, rested squarely on the shoulders of those in power. As we moved into the 20th century, the face of terrorism began to change. Groups like the Irish Republican Army and Basque separatist group ETA emerged, using violence to further political aims. Yet, despite their actions, Irish or Basque communities were not universally labeled as terrorists. However, things took a dramatic turn in the late 20th and early 21st century, particularly following the tragic events of September 11, 2001. The spotlight shifted towards Islamic extremism, and an unfair association began to form between terrorism and the Muslim community. This perception has been fueled by media representation, political rhetoric, and the actions of a tiny minority. The reality is that the overwhelming majority of Muslims, like any other community, vehemently condemn violence and terrorism. A significant example can be seen in the backlash faced by Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar, accused of supporting terror due to her expressed support for Palestinians under Israeli occupation. Such accusations not only stigmatize individuals, but also contribute to a wider culture of Islamophobia. Global leaders like President Joe Biden have emphasized the need to combat terrorism while also calling for the denouncement of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Yet the narrative often focuses on certain regions. A case in point is the strained political ties between India and Pakistan, with accusations of terrorism often thrown into the mix, further perpetuating stereotypes and divisions. So, where does this leave us? It's clear that the association of terrorism with particular religious or ethnic groups is a product of historical events, media representation, and political discourse. The blame has shifted over time, often reflecting the geopolitical climate rather than the reality of who is committing acts of terror. In summary, the perception of terrorism has evolved over time, from state-driven violence during the French Revolution to the unfair stigmatization of entire communities in the present day. It's crucial to remember that terrorism, at its core, is a political act, not a religious or ethnic one. The actions of a few should never define the many. It's time to challenge our perceptions and strive for a more nuanced understanding of this complex issue.